This is London calling in the overseas service of the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
The pocket battleship, Graf Spee, which has been for many weeks preying upon the trade of the South Atlantic, has met her doom.
Mother dear, I'm writing you from somewhere in France, hoping this finds you well.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall never surrender.
Hang up the washing on the sea green line, 'cause the washing day is here. Whether the weather may be we'll just love along.
Das Oberkommando der Wehrmacht gibt bekannt. Ein im Atlantik operierender deutscher Flottenverband unter Führung des Flottenchefs Admiral Lütjen im Seegebiet um Island auf schwere englische Seestreitkräfte. Das Schlachtschiff Bismarck hat hierbei einen englischen Schlachtkreuzer, wahrscheinlich Hood, vernichtet.
The sinking of the Bismarck was due to the cooperation of the RAF with the Navy. And Rodney, which did some pretty work with her 16-inch guns.
This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning. But the Japanese High Command had declared that a state of war existed with Great Britain and the United States.
The German Navy, so proudly built up by that smug strategical genius, the Führer, is slowly but surely being wiped out. Now the Scharnhorst, the 26,000-ton battleship, has gone to the bottom, a not unusual result of action against the Royal Navy.
Led by a powerful British escort, the main body of the surrendered Italian fleet is transferred from Malta to Alexandria.
Signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Force.
Back across the China Sea for the last large-scale surrender at Hong Kong, where today warships of the Royal Navy ride at anchor in the harbor.
And now for something completely different.
Well, hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gaff Major, and today we will be going through the patch notes. Let me just make sure I get to the right one. Here. So we will be going through the patch notes for the July 2020 update, 2022 update, and let's get the right year there. Now, we're going to start off the trailer, but a little bit of a caveat thing this week. So, as some of you may have noticed, on Friday's live stream last week, about halfway through the live stream, I commented that my joints had started to ache, and I wasn't feeling potentially too well, or might not be too well. Yeah, it turned out I had COVID. Literally tested straight after that live stream on Friday. Turned out I was positive. So, yeah, I obviously was feeling a bit under the weather on the weekend and at the start of this week, and hence that's why there wasn't any content before this, basically because I've been recovering and getting back on my feet, and therefore, even when I have started to feel a bit more normal, it's still not 100%. Anyway, as always, we're going to start off by going through the patch trailer. Reason being is sometimes it does contain bits of information which isn't always included in the patch notes. It could include little sneak peeks or even future teasing. So I'm going to unmute the desktop and we'll go through this. Let me get the subtitles turned on, and then what we'll do is, if there's anything of interest, I'll pause it and then we can discuss it as we go through, and fingers crossed I can get the audio nice and good. So let's crack on with this.
Captains, celebrations are in order.
So the nice one is they're starting with the Graf Zeppelin, being teased here. So obviously they have the Stukas, which is quite nice, and they does show them taking off from the front of the Zeppelin.
Legendary birthday is here.
Now, maybe we might try and pull this desk apart a little bit. Now it does say there's some nice little Easter eggs in there for people to find when they're going through. Obviously there's quite a few different aircraft, but quite a few of them are German. I think they missed a trick. I think they missed a little bit of a trick. The birthday cake has 4 candles on it when it's the 3rd birthday of World Warships Legends. So that's the one thing I kind of chuckled out. Apart from that, everything else, maybe we'll discuss it when we actually get like a first look into the post-patch, I guess say. But this is going to be the new port next patch.
Yeah, and so are Tier 8 ships alongside new campaign featuring French battleship Republique. Let's dive in. A whole new tier to try out is available. 12 ships of 4 nations are coming to the tech tree within this update, including powerhouses like German battleship Friedrich de Grosser, American cruiser Buffalo, and Japanese destroyer Yugumo. It's time to research those behemoths and start wreaking havoc in the It's time to research those behemoths.
There you go. So there's just the confirmation of the cost of a Tier 8 legendary Tier 8 ship, I should say. Obviously, this has all been kind of released already in the Tier 8 blog post, which did come out last week, I believe.
And start wreaking havoc in the high tier battles.
It also, just in case you missed it, is 150,000 experience in order to completely grind through / upgrade a Tier 8 ship.
French battleship Republique becomes the ambassador for Tier 8 ships in Legends. She's bringing to the fray 8 humongous 17-inch 431mm guns, engine boost consumable, and mighty AA. Take her out on the high seas and see for yourself. Fireworks. Legends are 3 years young, which means you get the goods. A special gift package awaits you, with more to come in form of first win bonuses and win roses for all ships. Moreover, special and collab content returns in bunches to ice the cake. 2 more Bureau projects are coming your way. Free Anniversary 1, walking us through the significant in-game events of the past year, and 1 rewarding legendary French cruiser Colbert for steel. Pick yours to research. Those won't be here forever. Last and for the first time ever, arrives the all-new Tier 2 premium destroyer Vampire, the debutante Commonwealth ship. She's all about rapid reload and good shooting angles, bringing along a distinguished commander, Leonard Mar.
Now he's only teased here, not in the patch notes, but I have grabbed a screen grab so we can take a look at this in more depth later on.
Get both through a free platform bundle. Celebrate birthday with us and turn the tide.
So there's not really any sneaky things hidden in the trailer, really. Apart from in the trailer they show the new Commonwealth commander, and in the patch notes they show the new Italian commander. So it's not shown in two locations, unfortunately. So you do have to kind of look at both just to make sure you see what all their traits and abilities are. Anyway, we'll get the patch notes going. We can turn the desktop off. I can unplug that. And now, fingers crossed, we can have some jazz. So yes, you will have to bear with me. You can probably hear that my voice is a little bit last minute just because of COVID. Anyway, so I'd like to say hello and welcome to everyone who is in the chat, and I hope you're all well. Hope you're all having a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are in the world. Let's say hello to Action Pumper, Randy Chang, Kim Mike X Gaming, Zuklu Adventures, Vaz Vegas, and Admiral Kriv. One comment that I like from Randy Chang there is I've turned off my in-game music and now listen to classical news radio while I play. I blame watching this channel. Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that one. I usually end up listening to my own music while I'm playing. Vaz says, Major got COVID during stream. Legends has been such a chore lately that I wouldn't be surprised if it's caused people to get COVID. No, I think I just picked it up in the office. I'm not exactly sure where. Vaz is obviously excited about the Commonwealth nation being introduced, because obviously that means in future Canadian ships, which would be nice. And Krev says Easter eggs will be in the new port. I bet there'll be some pictures of future ships. Maybe, but also it might just be Easter eggs, as in like a look back in the past. Maybe some of the pictures could be from previous campaigns and things like that. Anyway, so what we're going to do for the next hour or so, we will be going through the patch notes, we'll be reading through them. If you've got any queries or any comments regarding a certain area of the patch note, obviously hold out until we get to the area of the patch note. We can kind of have a bit of an open discussion. When we get to the end, obviously it'll be open to the floor, and any questions, things like that, as always. And then if we get bored or sidetracked, we can start having a look around the Major's office, which usually ends up with me pulling down the Kobe H's hood and other things like that. So, but yeah, we'll save that for the end. So in the meantime, we're going to have patch notes and jazz. Down in the description is a link to the patch notes, so if you want to read along as we go along, feel free to do so. And also down there is the redeem code, which is hidden within the patch notes, which you can then obviously easily redeem, because it is all nicely linked down there. Anyway, so moving on to the patch, obviously launching on July the 25th. And it's going to be 3.5 gig on the Xbox and 2.5 gig on the PlayStation. And there's also another gig being added to the mobile version of the game. Ooh. Hope you got a lot of memory in your mobiles, chaps. Anyway, so obviously, okay, I did spot this earlier and just wondering if it was a mistake. Now I think it's them trying to have a bit of a funny, I guess you could say. But yeah, they kind of sum it up. So Tiers 8 is obviously coming to the game. 4 nations, 12 ships. Ironically, if you include the 2 premium ships, which are coming this patch, they're introducing 14 Tier 8 ships in a single patch. Yet Legendary Tier has been around for 2 years, and we've only got to 13 Legendary Tier ships. So I think it kind of hints which one they might be putting a little bit more effort into at the moment, maybe. Anyway, also there's the Legendary Birthday, which is going to have bonuses, prizes, and all this other stuff. But most of that information is coming later on in the blog post on July the 25th, it would appear. Furthermore, yes, there are 2 new projects coming to the Bureau, but both of them are time limited, and one of them will require you to part ways with Steel. Obviously, there is the campaign, which has the first Tier 8 campaign ship, which is a little bit of a surprise, because only a week ago there was a Discord and Q&A kind of like ask the team on Discord, and Final Boss answered the question saying there's no plans in having Tier 8 campaign ships yet. 1 week later, plans have changed. So yeah, it does make you wonder how in the dark the community managers are as well. I'm sure they're kept in the dark quite a lot more than we would probably expect. Now, obviously, they have this first Commonwealth ship come to the game, and yeah, it is a big thing, but also it's only a tier 2, and they're giving it away for free. So it's very whether it deserves a whole point in its own, I don't know. And then of course they're bringing back the web special event, yippity doo dah. Yeah, and of course lots more. So yep, use that as my thumbnail. And yeah, redeem code, which will get you 12 anniversary camos and 2 common containers. The code is obviously in the patch notes, but it's also down in the description, so nice and copy and pasteable should you wish to do that. Hello Doug35, greetings Mecha Man as well, and good evening and then it was. Good to see you chaps, good to see you. So, obviously, the big thing is tier 8. I mean, they've been teasing us for a whole patch, and so we finally got the 4 nations that they showed us the same trailer for, but in different qualities. So we got there in the end, I guess you could say. Now, it does say obviously more reinforcements planned for the upcoming updates. Wink, wink. But the thing is, I think that goes without saying. Let's be honest. They're probably going to try and introduce a tier 8 for pretty much every single tech tree they have in the game. And so that does mean it's going to be a constant rolling thing that's going to be happening. And in future updates, I mean, that doesn't mean next update, unfortunately. But it kind of just means in its own time. And what will probably happen is they're going to introduce these 4 nations, 12 ships, and then it might take a patch or 2, and then they introduce the next 12 per se, I guess you could say. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go about it. Obviously, there's only one nation I care about. Let's all be honest. We all know that. So I'm going to literally sit on my global XP. I'm going to sit on my credits, and I'm going to wait for the Royal Navy to arrive. Because when they arrive, I want them all, and I want them ASAP. So I'm probably going to give these 4 nations a nice wide berth and let everyone else enjoy them, you know, and then I'll come in with the Royal Navy in due course, I guess you could say. Now, obviously, we know what the ships are now, and I think we identified every single one of these except, obviously, the main, I should say, but the main was obviously slightly, she's unique. So obviously there was no way to actually identify the main because she doesn't exist in World Warships PC, I guess you could say. So obviously she was the kind of surprise, I guess you could say, which is quite interesting because obviously the way they've done World Warships Legends means there are some slight gaps, I guess you could say, in the tech tree if they are going, because we've now got 9 tiers. I guess if you include Legendary tier, we've got 9 tiers. And PC's got 10 tiers, well, 11 tiers, I guess, if you want to talk about super ships. Yeah, so, I mean, we're not that far off, I guess you could say now. Obviously, they go through, talk about what the ships are. If you want to know about these ships, either wait until the patch drops, or if you want, you can go check out the World Warships wiki page, and you can then look at the PC equivalent and just maybe get yourself a bit of a heads-up start on these ships if you so desire. Rain Chang, no plans, nothing to see here. Yeah, I know what you mean. Doug, they know what's being worked on now for that. Yeah, no, I wish. Either that, it just seemed a little odd to say, oh, there's no plans, and then, oh wait, there's this one. In fact, there's 2. Tomorrow, tomorrow we're doing overtime, so another day, another missed stream. Oh, no worries, no it was. Fingers crossed. I'm actually game for doing a live stream on Monday, doing a first look. So Isaac, hello, good to see you. Doug55, well, the missing tier is tier 1, which is obviously tier 0 on console, yeah. But the thing is, you could almost imagine them introducing tier 0. Now, talking about, obviously, we've covered this kind of stuff with the tier 8 ships on the tier 8 blog, or at least I haven't covered it. Major, jazz is a bit loud. No worries, we can turn the jazz down. There we go. Let's turn it down by 10. But keep me informed if the jazz is too loud, and also we can revisit it as we go along. So, obviously they talk about, so basically it's 300 XP in total in order to unlock a tier 8 ship. What that means is basically the 100,000 base XP and the 200,000 elite XP in order to unlock a tier 8 ship. Now that 200 elite XP will be automatically converted into base XP for your tier 7 when the tier 8 comes out. So if you do like to convert elite XP into global XP using doubloons, then you could potentially be losing 12, 24, 2, wait, go get this right. 20, is it? No, 2,400,000. Oh, can I do this? Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Oh, my brain's not. This is the joys of COVID. My brain's not quite working. Times by 12. 2,400,000 elite XP to convert into global XP, if that happens to be you. So, in some regard, you will be losing elite XP. So it means if you'd like to convert every single drop of elite XP into global XP, do it before the patch drops. Otherwise, you're going to be losing elite XP. But that's going to be a very small percentage of people, if that is anyone. Now, also, they do talk about 2 new upcoming tier 8 premium ships. Amusingly, this is the French battleship Republic, which is a tech tree ship over on PC. And obviously, there's the German destroyer, the Elbing, which is also a tech tree ship over on PC. The Republic and the Elbing are both tech tree tier 10 ships, which are being down-tiered by a single tier and introduced as premium ships over here on board Warships Legends. Ah, lovely. Now, obviously, Elbing is being made available in the auction. I'm sure you chaps love the auction. But yeah, and then she'll be coming back for global XP. We don't know how much she's global XP, so we don't actually know how much she's worth. I think my assumption would be that she's going to be worth 1 million. 1 million global XP. Now, that works out as about 25. That works out as about 40,000 doubloons. So maybe that could be a way of putting a price on a tier 8 ship, maybe. But unless we get a confirmation how much she's going to be available for global XP, it's very hard to say how much she's worth, and therefore how much would be a feasible bid, I guess you could say. I will catch up with the chat. I will catch up. Jazz should be alright. Okay, I might just do jazz just a little bit down. Now, obviously, they are saying we're definitely planning on adding more tier 8 ships in the following updates via available means of distribution, starting from the tech tree and the store. So obviously, from the store. So that means they're going to be selling them for doubloons? Including, well, I guess global XP in the store, bureau, and maybe even steel. You can't even say maybe even steel when you're already doing something like that for legendary tier in this patch. And one more point to mention is that, as you're already used to, campaign ships will keep arriving mostly at the highest non-legendary tier, which is now tier 8. For more details, please refer to blah blah blah. So, amusingly, it looks like they've run out of tier 7 ships for campaigns, and now they're going to be moving on to tier 8 ships, which could be one of the driving forces behind introducing tier 8, because obviously it unlocks a lot more ships that they can then flog for the use as campaign rewards. Locks behind narrative backing. Another potential thing is, when it comes to the campaigns, with the introduction of the ship changing from a tier 7 ship, which is going to be worth, so tier 7 ship is worth 30,000 doubloons. The ships which are becoming available at tier 8, let's assume 40,000 doubloons, right? if the values of the campaigns don't significantly increase, I'd say by about 10,000 doubloons, you know, call it inflation or something, then what they're probably doing is they're changing the ship in the campaign to one that's a tier higher, which costs more doubloons in their calculations, and therefore they're going to take away stuff from the rewards. So in the campaign, potentially you could be getting a bigger, shinier ship and less rewards for the same price. So I think that's one thing that I'm going to be scrutinising for the next couple of patches, where they do maybe introduce more tier 8 ships as campaign rewards. I'm going to be obviously continuing doing my Go Compare. We'll look at that later, where we will be comparing the values of this campaign to the previous one. And on Criv, I say 1,250,000. Oh boy, 1,250,000 divided by 25. That's 50,000 doubloons. Oh, so that means that if the value of the campaign doesn't jump significantly enough, 20,000 doubloons. I mean, you can't smuggle 20,000 doubloons away, and that campaign is only worth like 70,000 doubloons. So it's going to be, what's going to be the impact elsewhere? Will it be taken away promotional orders, insignias? Will it be taken away some of the guff, like the booster flags and things like that? But man, it's not out of the ordinary for Legends to introduce a tech tree ship as a premium ship, Monarch Line. Yeah, good point. But then again, we kind of got it the other way around as well, with Vanguard being a tech tree ship. But yes, let's catch up. Man, with the Royal Navy, expect Jutland, yeah, Battle class, Neptune class, yeah, Drake, yeah, 9.2s, and Lion with derivative with 419 mils. Yep, no, I agree. Yeah, that's basically. I know you, sir. I know you, sir. But yes, no, that's exactly what I'm expecting. I think I actually saw your comment on the PlayStation group. I've only just twigged. I do apologise. Yeah, I remember reading that one with great interest, actually. So yeah, thank you for sharing at the time. I'm Criv. I would be heavily laughing when they introduce a tier 8 steel ship for 35,000 steel. Missouri can rot there forever. But yeah, for me, Missouri and Mamads can just rot there forever. I'm still saving steel. I'm probably not even going to spend it on the Colberg. I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah. Okie dokie. Yeah, and Tazul says he likes the jazz, but yeah, keep me up to date with the jazz. Obviously, I want something in the background, but I don't need to be too loud. Yeah, so obviously the tier 8 blog post is here. I'm a mecha pilot in the lads. Yeah, I just twigged. I do apologise for it. But yeah, the here thing. Yeah, so anyway, 3 legendary years. 3 very long years, I guess you could say, for which, yeah, I played all the way through, I guess you could say. So let's see, where are we? So obviously, celebrations start with the update dropping on Monday the 25th, and then there's obviously going to be a special blog post, which is coming next week. Now, it doesn't really go too much into the birthday stuff here, but it does kind of cover the Windrose and First Win. So Windrose is back for the first win over the patch from Tier 6 Legendary from, pardon me, to apologise, August the 8th through to August the 15th. Now, 2 Hunter camos air, 2 Anniversary camos air, 2 Rare Battle Boosters air, 3 Epic Battle Boosters air, 1 Insignia. I wonder which tier they're trying to incite us to play a bit more. And then also, yeah, one Summer Big Crate. So yeah, they're really enticing us to grind out and get those tier 8s and get those insignias, because that's probably the only reward there that's actually worthwhile. Yeah, so that's interesting. It shows where their incentives are, I guess you could say. And then also this first win bonus will be bumped up to 5 times from 1.5 times from August the 26th to August the 29th. So yeah, that covers kind of my birthday weekend, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Anyway, obviously Night Symphony bundle, we don't, it's going to be available August 1st to August 29th, so this is going to be an in-game, on console bundle. which basically, if you have PlayStation Plus or you have Xbox Live subscriptions, then this bundle will be free to redeem on the console stores. That's the PlayStation Store and the Microsoft Store, from August the 1st through to August the 29th. And obviously it brings you the Tier 2 Australian or Commonwealth destroyer HMAS, I think. Yeah, HMAS Vampire. And obviously grants you the Commonwealth Commander Leonard Murray. So let's bring Murray on screen. There you go. So this is him, and while we got him on screen, I'll go through the Vampire. So the Vampire, she's I believe a V-class destroyer from the First World War. Let me just double check, because that's not being any help. Let's just Vampire and make sure we get the right one. Let's see, HMS Vampire is a V-class destroyer launched in 1917's HMS Wallace, before then being transferred to the RAN, or the Royal Australian Navy, where she was then renamed HMAS Vampire. And yeah, so she served in the Mediterranean as part of the Scrap Iron Flotilla. She then also escorted HMS Prince of Wales and HMS Repulse in the South China Sea in December 1941. And HMAS Vampire was sunk on the 9th of May 1942 while sailing with HMS Hermes by Japanese aircraft. So, okay, interesting. In-game wise, she has 4 single mounts of 4-inch gun, I want to say, and she's got 1 triple mount of torpedoes. So not a lot of torpedoes, that's worth mentioning. Pros and cons over on PC, and these should basically still reflect over onto World Warships Legends. So the pros are, main guns have great fire rate and range for her tier. She has wide firing arcs, and the main guns allow captains to fire without exposing much of their ship's side, so pretty quite nice there. Torpedoes are able to single fire launch those torpedoes, so she's got British torpedo launching characteristics, I guess you could say. She also has a quick rudder shift and a tight turning circle, very common for a Royal Navy style destroyer. Looks like she's going to be coming with a different smokescreen, probably a smokescreen similar to like the Gallant and Cossack, I guess you could say, where it's going to last a bit longer than the mini smokescreens that you normally would get on, say, some Royal Navy ships. Downsides, shell arcs are only slightly below orbital, so that does mean they're going to be very high shell arcs. Vampire obviously only has 3 torpedoes, or a single triple launcher, and another downside is it would appear that she may struggle to stealth torpedo, so it could be that her torpedo range is going to be significantly shorter than her detectability range, and with being able to stealth torpedo probably being subject to how many stealth mods or stealth abilities and torpedo range abilities you can kind of stack on. And taking a look at Murray here in the background, he's got an interesting trait which increases HP and maximum movement speed. The increase in maximum movement speed is pretty slim, but the HP looks quite interesting, so it could make obviously Vampire quite survivable, or more survivable. It's only a tier 2 though, so that's one thing to obviously bear in mind. Traits wise, yeah, it looks like Murray's going to be your pretty generic commander for the Commonwealth nation, so it's not really destroyer orientated, and I think if you're playing a destroyer, you're most likely going to take trying to remember the names of the traits. But you're probably going to go left side for look at me now. For me, it's either going to be left side or middle. you know, go for torpedo reload or go for maximum movement speed. Then you'll either go middle or right. Actually, probably just middle. Actually, you're just going to go for smoke on the water because increasing the gun range doesn't sound worthwhile for Vampire, and rudder shift doesn't sound worthwhile for Vampire. And on the bottom, you'll probably go on stop or bottom left. Just keep your movement ability. And then with your traits, you could just stick a classic Bay and Sims on there, and should probably do you all right, I guess you could say. Oh well. Back to here. Let me get the chat back up. Let's see, where are we? Hello, Melissa. Hello. Crom as well. Hello. He's a down under Dewey. He has arrows on his binocs to help him remember which end to put his eye. Oh, Randy, you're killing me. Oh. Sweet jacket on Murray. Yeah, no, alright. Let's go back to Murray. Because we got... There we go. I'm a crew of 12 insignias. Chances does sound promising, but not many can do it, sadly. That's going to be very true. Sweet jacket. Yeah, that is a nice jacket, actually. Yeah, that is a nice one. And then what is, yeah, got to have a swimming pool worth of silver, yeah, in order to get all the tier 8s. I don't think the arrows on the binocs would remind him which end to stick your eyes. Although I personally love the idea of that. Oh, could it be? I mean, oh, insert eyes here, yeah. Running it. Life doesn't seem to be so hard, Murray. Let me get my yellow Sharpie. Doug, it sucks that DD is German above tier 4 is only DD I play. Is DD is German above tier 4. The Guidey. Yeah. It sucks that the DD is only above tier. Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically, I think Doug's trying to say he's not going to be getting tier 8 anytime soon. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Right. Okay. Here we go. I'll catch you with that in a second. So that's the Vampire. Anniversary Bureau. Obviously, they're doing the typical birthday bureau, I guess you could say, when they introduce a bureau project, and as you go through, it has quite a bit of throwback to older content. So, for example, you got Halloween's and Golden Week and Christmas as well. I think they're all hinting there. And there's obviously with a chance of premiumship. So what they're talking about there is the Super 5 container. So I guess that's not too bad, but yeah, nothing too exciting. But it's something for nothing, which I can't really complain about. Obviously, some of the collab stuff that they're going to be bringing back through this Bureau project is going to be Archipelago Blue Steel, Black Friday, Halloween, New Year, Lunar New Year, Stellar Clash, including a chance for the all-new Des Moines Galaxy skin. And it's not all new, we've seen it before, but it's the first time they're actually going to let us be able to get it. Along with Warhammer 40k, yeah, and obviously Warhammer 40k has made a comeback this week as well. We're going into the details of timelines as a separate blog in the coming days. The comeback has already started. Okay, so they've already started the Warhammer 40k. I assume it continues into the patch then. Halloween collection joining once the update hits. Yeah, it seems like it. Keep an eye on the store to pick up something your stash is missing. I think the main one that people might be interested in is obviously the Lunar New Year stuff with Space Fishy. I think that's going to be the main one. Main one that people are going to be looking out for. So, new birthday part port, which obviously apparently has some Easter eggs. Now, we haven't really seen too much, but there is a JU-52, there's also a Mission Smith 109. There's also 4 candles on the birthday cake for their 3rd birthday. And there might be other things as well. Some of these look like that's a loading screen for a map. I'm sure that's a campaign photo. So most of it's probably artwork from within the game. I don't think it's going to be Easter eggs as in teasers for future content. I think it's going to be more of Easter eggs of hints and look backs at older content, I guess you could say. So I think that's the main thing. So obviously we have the Republic. Let's cover the Republic now then, shall we? So Republic, obviously over on PC, she's a tier 10 battleship, and she's being down tier to tier 9/tier 8 for World Warships Legends, and being made a premium ship. Now, I'm just going to jump into the pros and cons of this ship, I guess you could say. So obviously, she's got a fast main battery rate of fire, which could be quite interesting. She has excellent main battery range, large caliber, high penetration, high velocity AP shells that can overmatch 30mm of armour. And I think, yep, it does say she's got 17-inch guns. Let's see, she also has good HE, decent damage and good fire chance, powerful secondary armament with good range. Citadel is well protected and armoured. Looks like she has a turtle back arm scheme, very strong anti-aircraft defences, and has access to an engine boost consumable, which we have seen in the trailer. Now, the downsides are that she's mostly covered in 32mm armour, or she's entirely covered in 32mm armour, making her very vulnerable to HE spam and overmatched by 16-inch or larger caliber guns. Now, her citadel is well protected, but it can still take penetrations from long-range plunging fire. Main battery arrangement is similar to the gas gun, with two 4-barrel turrets in A and X turret configurations with limited rear firing angles. Secondary and AA mounts have poor durability and are easily destroyed. Slow rudder shift and huge turning radius. Maneuverability is rather poor, so she's very good in a straight line, but try to turn this thing and it's going to be an absolute pain in the rear. It has a very poor base concealment and has high dispersion with low barrel count, which can lead to disappointing, inaccurate salvos. So looks like she's going to be a troll. So potentially, I mean, she might just be another disappointing French ship. What was the... It was the Champagne, wasn't it? We had the Champagne recently. She wasn't really that exciting. Yeah, so either she's been down tiered so she might be a bit more tolerable, she could have been tweaked, but potentially she might not be my cup of tea. She might be your cup of tea though, and I have seen some of you ladies and gents say in the chat that the Republic is the main thing that you are looking forward to this patch. Let's have a look. Melissa's not really happy with the new update. I can't blame you. We're going to get to the stuff that I'm going to get salty about shortly. But one thing you're looking forward to is the Republic, which is fair enough. I will be, that's what sucks. No worries. Mega Man, I'm excited if the Shakuku is getting buffed. Yeah, no, the Shakuku finally getting buffed is definitely well needed. It's did everything else need buffing is always another question. Well, like the name was says, it's not getting buffed, it's getting de-nerfed. Yeah, no, that's true. That nerf on the Shikuku was really pretty cruel, I guess you could say. Oh, Mecha Man is also caught COVID and is gaining an appreciation of English tea. Putting Graf Zeppelin behind a paywall is a bad thing to do. We'll have a look at her, because to be honest, it's one thing I haven't done is actually read about the Graf Zeppelin. I'm Griff. If I squeeze out a 16-second reload on my Jean Bar, I can try and squeeze at least an 18-second out of these 17-inch guns in the Republic. Ugh. A sub 20-second reload. That's disgusting, Griff. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it covers most of the points here again. So it doesn't look like she's going to change massively from PC. So could be quite interesting. And obviously, the premium bonus for a tier 8 credit earning will be set at 15%, the same as that was. Yeah, we've covered the economical changes have already been covered. Anyway, on to the campaign and what the rewards are. Some of this is the one thing I was a little bit surprised at. Everything else, I might have to start doing some comparisons, but I think one thing I'm noting here is it looks like they've reduced the amount of guff. So it does seem like, obviously, the ship's gone up in value, and they've probably reduced in the guff, but they've probably chucked in a load of credits. And the crates are just, why? You can still always have to put some level of RNG. Anyway, so the rewards that you'll get without amateur backing, I guess the main ones people are going to be looking for is 14 promotional orders, 1 insignia, 1 universal commendation. Maybe credits might be of interest this patch, maybe even Globe XP, but it's not a lot really, honestly. And it's still only worth 15. All this is only worth 15,000 points, but most of it, 40 boosters. Is that all the boosters? That's half the boosters. 36 camouflages plus. Honestly, that doesn't, like, if someone said 15, if this was a 15,000 doubloon bundle, no one would buy it. I've got to be honest. That doesn't feel like it's worth 15,000 doubloons. Anyway, average backing stayed at 2,500 doubloons. And the one thing I was, quite pleasantly surprised at, promotional orders go up to 20. Well, you get an additional 26, additional 4 insignias, additional 3 commendations, only 750 doubloons. Again, there's no doubloon compensation located anywhere in this patch from ranked or arena or anything else like that. So, again, they're sticking to the we relocated doubloons from the campaign to other means in order to distribute doubloons, and then when we get patches where there's no arena and there's no ranks, they don't give us any doubloon compensation within the patch. So actually, they're really withdrawing the amount of doubloons that people can actually earn in campaigns. In fact, like before, you used to kind of get your money back. Like every patch, you could earn enough through the campaign and the weeks and stuff in order to actually purchase purchase the empty backing for the next one, I guess you could say, or even earn towards a premium ship. But it seems like they're really stinging back on all of that, I guess you could say. Anyway, I'll do the go compare. So there we go. So this, first of all, it gives you a look at all of the campaigns as far as records go, and also I've highlighted every single July patch for the past 3 years, so you can actually compare this patch to the previous patches and see that the value has gone down. Anyway, so this patch, obviously, without Tamri backing, you'll be getting 15,575 doubloons worth of rewards. With Algae backing, you'll be getting a total of 72,280 in regards to rewards. The value of the ship, we're saying is between 40 and 50. Does that even make sense? It's very hard to say how much the ship is, or does the value of the ship even be included in the amount of rewards? That's always another question, I guess you could say. Anyway, the difference between amateur backing and without amateur backing is a total of 56,705 doubloons, which is basically a difference of the amount of the rewards you'll get without amateur backing is 21.55%. As you can see, the total value that you're getting without is below average. The total amount that you're getting with is slightly above average. Difference is above average, and the percentage difference that you're getting without amateur backing is definitely below average. And in comparison to the past 3 years of the July patches, you can see that the value of the July patch has decreased, being basically being a total value of 82,000 doubloons back in 2020, reducing to 76,000 doubloons in 2021, and now we're down to 72,000 doubloons in 2022. Where the future goes, well, I'm going to keep track of this and we'll see where things go. But yeah, so that's all of the sneaky stuff in the background. Let's see. Let's catch with the chat. Ronnie Chang. Apparently, Barnes Stroud model CF41 binoculars had arrows to denote government use / ownership, but only amateur binoculars had painted yellow ones. That's an interesting fact. Melissa, 17,500 doubloons for Graf Zeppelin and a permanent store. Oh, I did see someone saying 17,500 doubloons for a for a tier 7 ship, so they must have been talking about the Graf Zeppelin. 7500 doubloons, times by 25,000 global XP, which is worth 500. So, oh god. That means that when they sell ships for global XP, they really overprice the ship. Also, the nice one is now we know how much doubloon value a tier 7 ship is, so we could always subtract that from previous campaigns and work out the value of the rest of the wards, potentially. But yeah, part of me goes, I'm surprised it's 17,500 because I'd say it's a little cheap for a tier 7. I would have expected at least 20, I'll be honest. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. Anyway. Yes, I'm up to date. No, it sounds right. Didn't they sell another tier 7 that much before? Not that I can recall. The only time I've seen them sold has been for either the I guess. Yeah, the only time I've seen tier 7 sold has either been for 750,000 global XP, or for element of choice 10,000 doubloons, or the what do I want to say, or that with amity backing 2,500 doubloons. So, the treasure hunt. Okay, so if you remember, Christmas, was it Christmas? I think Christmas they did this kind of giveaway for a Super 5 container. Well, this time they're doing a treasure hunt, which is going to be a web event, which allows you to basically acquire up to 2 Super 5 containers. The nice one about the Super 5 containers is they have actually updated the list of ships which will be available. So now it includes every single tier 5 ship, including the recent releases such as the Zoiho, the Ashan and the Hyuga. I think they should. So it should be all updated. I did double check it before the stream. Super 5 container. So California, Warspite, DeGrasse, Graf Spee, Mutsu, Dunkirk, T61, Gil, Molotov, Prince Nigel Frigi, Exeter, Monaghan, Gallant, London, West Virginia, Duke d'Aosta, Leon, Makarov, Arizona, Hyuga, Ashan, Huanghe, Zoiho and Shinomi. So yeah, they have updated it to include all of the tier 5 ships now. So it means, but this is the good news. As of the patch, any tier 5, Super 5 container that you actually already own but have not opened yet will have its drop rates updated to include these ships. So if you've been holding on to one due to recent circumstances, then yeah, you can have a better chance of getting ships that you haven't already got. That's one thing. And I know I mentioned that to someone a couple of months back, so if you still got it, that's some good news, I guess you could say. But yeah, now it looks like there'll be another blog post covering this, so and that's this is going to be starting August the 8th. So it looks like, again, there's going to be quite a few blog posts very early on in the patch covering the Windrose. Well, I suspect it actually might be the same one. They'll probably do one blog post covering the treasure hunt and the legendary birthday kind of stuff that's all kicking on. So, we'll look at this after I've just quickly caught at the chat. Hello, DJ. Good to see you. Good morning, Nigerian Zuma. Good morning. Query, if I can imagine they will start selling previous tier 7 campaign ships in the store as well, Jean Bar, which to Yudachi if they're still greedy. Possibly, but I think they still want to try and limit the populations on those ships. So, I think if they wanted to introduce those ships, although yes, they could be greedy and introduce them to doubloons and try and get their hands on our hard-earned cash, they might be more likely to actually introduce them for steel. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised the Jean Bar hasn't been made available for steel. The questioner, you can also get 2 tier 7 in the bureau. Shikuku and Saipan, I believe, if I got that right. There was. I can actually get ships out of the crates now. Not silver, yeah. I know what you mean. Right, so Colbert, like, honestly, personally, I'm not keen on how they're introducing the ship. So as you may know, Colbert is a French cruiser, which has like an Atlanta-style gun arrangement. She's basically got lots of destroyer turrets popped on her, I guess you could say, instead of a standard, say, cruiser armament. She's got like destroyer armament, basically, yeah, she was introduced for testing as part of the Rented Legendary event over the New Year update 21-22, right? So it's been 7 months, 7 long months, where they have taken the results from the New Year's patch. They scrutinised the Colbert. They told us she's subject to change, or could be subject to change. It's been 7 months. It took them 7 months to change nothing. So why did it take them so long to introduce this ship? Well, the reason being is they're not too sure about the ship because they want to limit the ship's population, which means they're still not sure if it's balanced enough. Yeah, cargo, my bad there. But yeah, so they want to limit the ship's population because they know it's probably a little bit OP. But at the same time, upon reviewing all the stats, they couldn't work out whether to change her or not. And so they're just introducing her as released back or tested, knowing that she might be a little OP, but they're going to limit the numbers by prying your hard-earned steel off of you. And obviously they're going to have this bureau project as a limited time only. I mean, if they want to limit the numbers, okay, fair enough, if you want to limit the numbers, why not just have the bureau as a limited time release anyway? Like, why does it have to be a steel buy-in at the same time? Honestly, like, I think Legendary Tier and Steel have been my two most hated things that have been introduced to the game, and introducing the two as a single thing is probably only going to pique my hatred for it. Steel's a waste. Legendary Tier has been incredibly mismanaged and poorly released, and so what they're doing is releasing an OP cruiser, in comparison to what we have at the moment for Steel and at Legendary Tier. Yeah, so basically you have to purchase it for Steel before the end of the update, which should be August 29th. But then the ship will, that bureau mission will stay with you until you complete it. So you can spend Steel now to then see where it goes. But it's just this little threat where we'll see how she does before taking further steps. Further steps could be reintroducing the ship for maybe less, maybe not for Steel, maybe just as a bureau project again for the future. Like, there's so much here that's it's so woolly, and potentially they could nerf it. They could release it, make you pay 300 Steel for it, and then in a couple months' time they go, no, and then nerf it. So at the moment, I really don't like the ambiguity about the Colbert, because obviously they know it's a little OP, but at the same time they're not going to do anything about it. They're going to sell it to you for Steel and then maybe do something about it. So I won't be getting the Colbert. I'm just going to steer clear of it because I'm not interested in wasting Steel on something that they could just ruin in the future. But proceed at your own risk, I should say, and I've given you my 2 cents worth anyway. So they're bringing back the auction. I think this is another element of the game that I really don't like, and I kind of wish they didn't bother. I reviewed it incredibly negatively, and I don't really like its introduction again. So obviously they're going to be auctioning a Tier 8 Premium Destroyer, the Elbing, which is a Tech Tree Tier 10 over on PC. But they also say, please don't shoot back Globe XP, but they don't tell how much Globe XP, so we don't know how much the Elbing's really worth in regards to doubloon XP conversion, I guess you could say. And obviously there will be other awards. I do have this thing about Miss Thompson, but I don't know who Miss Thompson is, I'm going to be honest. And there will be apparently other awards and stuff, but yeah. So grand opening on August the 18th. Again, this is just going to be another thing I'm just going to steer clear of, just because I'm not interested in this kind of mechanic in the game. And therefore, it's one of those things, if you don't like it, don't use it, and kind of vote with your wallets, I guess you could say. So in this case, I'm just going to steer clear of it. As always, buyer beware. Proceed at your own risk, I guess you could say. So, new ships and more, and obviously we have the Graf Zeppelin. Let's catch up with the chat. Mega Man, been testing Galizia SAP. She's lethal with SAP. Yeah, no, SAP on the Italian premium cruise has actually been really nice. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen an introduction of it to the tech tree as yet. However, it is something I suspect will happen in the future. I've only seen positive things about SAP. I fought against Colbert in Renta legendary ship event. While annoying, she is vulnerable as it had been dev struck by an Alaska. Yeah, she is going to have quite a... She's very Minotaur style, I guess you could say. But she's also got... I think... Obviously, if she's caught broadside, yeah, dev struckable. But if she's angled, I think she's got quite a reasonable armor scheme that she can kind of angle against a lot of stuff, which is quite surprising for the tier. But obviously, if she does get caught up by a battleship, because most of the legendary tier battleships have really high caliber guns, she does get slapped about a bit, and we'll give you that. The questioner, steel is okay, it's the fact that obtaining it is so hard. Take Missouri, for example. If you do everything, you can get steel, and it will take you 6 months. But this is the thing, Missouri is not worth it. The CCs, we did get to play, or have Missouri for a little bit. And honestly, Missouri is just not worth it. I mean, a premium Iowa with radar. I feel like, and the radars are like not even like enough to get one volley away. I mean, if you're a battleship and you're in a position where you need to use radar, you're in a bad position. It's too late. you need to rethink your playstyle, potentially. So yeah, so like Missouri is not worth it, definitely. Murmansk, nah. At the moment, still there's nothing worthwhile for steel. Is the Colbert going to be worthwhile for steel? It's hard to say because they caveat it with saying it's actually kind of that things might change in the future, and it's like, well, what do you mean things might change in the future? Does that mean she might become available entirely for steel, or does that mean that potentially she might get nerfed or buffed or added to the bureau for nothing or global XP or something? So at the moment, it's always a bit concerning. And it was you say she's not worth it, but still managed to get 15k steel back. Is that when you accidentally got the Missouri? I remember that being a thing. People accidentally get the Missouri or something like that. Alright, so Graf Zeppelin. Let's see. First German premium aircraft carrier equipped with AP bombs, fast aircraft, noticeable secondary armament. So I don't see it in the notes that she's becoming available for 17,500 doubloons. If anyone's got like a link to where that's been said, post it, that'd be great. They're not adding anything new. No. The question of the insignia is probably the best use of steel. Yeah, that's the worst part. That's the worst part. The best use of steel is an insignia. And yeah. They're not adding anything new. Worth 30k. Yeah, no. The question still is okay. Oh no, I think I read that one. Yeah, I think I'm up to date actually. Yeah, if anyone's got the confirmation where the Graf Zeppelin is, where they say it's available for doubloons, let me know. And I'll try and then bring it up on the stream. So Elbing is going to be available in the bureau. No, in the auction, I guess you get. Graph Zeppelin Price is wandering around and asked the team section on Discord. Okay, let's see if we can find it. And what we do, we just put the Zeppelin up. Let's see. If my moderators get onto it, let me know. Let's see. In #ask team, and then Zeppelin. Let's see where we go. Just trying to turn this up. While that's doing that, obviously Graf Zeppelin. Pros, fast torpedo bombers and dive bombers in game. Looks like she might drop quite a few torpedoes, 3 torpedoes per drop. Bombs are dropped by dive bomber, so good accuracy. Standing secondary armament, a serious threat when properly upgraded. And Citadel is fairly difficult to hit as it sits below the waterline over on PC. I would like to see it. Of course, I can't seem to find it. Let's see. Let's see. If we know who posted it, that would be great as well. Price of the G's just pinned on Discord. Under Ask the Team. Okay, no worries, that helps. Let's just go straight to Ask the Team then. Okay. There you go, chaps. Well, chaps and ladies. There you go. What I'll do, I'll quickly stick that into my Discord server as well. Future reference. There we go. Right, Graf Zeppelin. Downsides. Attack aircraft are fragile. Well, that's the ignore that. Torpedo bombs and dive bombers have poor agility. Aerial torpedoes are slow. Poor AP damage with only 2 bombs per drop. Fairly weak anti-aircraft, sweet for a heavy carrier, and has the worst concealment among all aircraft carriers. So, yeah, there's definitely some downsides to the Graf Zeppelin there. And yeah, there you go. You can now see the Graf Zeppelin will be available for 17,500 doubloons. Yeah, Doug. Yeah, not getting Missouri now yet. Great looking carrier. Yeah, no, it is a pretty carrier. Passport is Passport is a hard to hit citadel as well. That's very true. That's very true. Kit fit for purpose. Salty potatoes everywhere. Oh yes. Well, remember, chaps, the sea is salty. Oh, there we go. So yeah, interesting. Right, on to the Elbing. So the Elbing is a poor performing destroyer over on World Warships PC, I guess you could potentially say. I rarely hear anything. I rarely hear anyone singing her praises, I guess you could say. Anyway, she's basically a cruiser. They say it there. She is a cruiser in regards to pretty much everything. She's very much like the Palomino, a light cruiser, being up tiered to the point where it's a destroyer. So in this case, that's what's happening. The pros and cons of the Elbing. Let's get that up from the PC versions. Obviously, Elbing over on PC, she's a tier 10 tech tree ship, and she's coming to World of Warships Legends as a tier 8 premium ship. So the pros, obviously, she does have large caliber guns for a destroyer. Her AP shells have quite good penetration and improved penetration angles. As with other German destroyers, her HE has improved penetration. She also has more accurate guns for a destroyer, but that's mostly because of the very low gun count, and we'll have a quick look at that maybe shortly. And she's got excellent ballistics, high shell velocity and flat arcs. She has good torpedo range, damage and reload speed. A large 25mm midsection which provides protection against most destroyer caliber high explosive shells. She also has a large hit pool for her class in game, and she has surprisingly decent concealment for her size. Downsides are obviously she is the biggest destroyer in the game. She has abysmal high explosive damage output, she has a poor rate of fire for a destroyer, she has a huge turning radius and a slow rudder shift, handling very much like a light cruiser, has extremely slow torpedoes, and her anti-aircraft defense is pretty lackluster. She also lacks engine boost over on PC, and also is definitely unsuited to contesting capture points. So she is basically a light cruiser in the destroyer slot at tier 8. And let's have a look. Her main battery, she has 3 dual gun turrets of the 5.9 inch caliber, I guess you could say. Reload time of about 7.1 seconds over on PC. Torpedo tubes, she's got 2 quintuplet launchers. I'd assume these are mounted amidships. Yes. Maneuverability, 36 knot top speed, an 890 meter turning circle with a 6.3 second rudder shift. Yeah, so if you like your destroyer to be maneuverable, this won't be it. Anyway, she's obviously going to be available as part of the auction and then available for Globe XP at a later date. Creative I Bet Wargaming put German DD Felix Schutz into legendary tier after the Albin move. By the way, Felix is one of them, one and only high tier German DD without sonar. Interesting. Italian battleship commander. Okay, so here's something that's potentially of interest. So obviously we finally have the accuracy commander for the Italians without having to use doubloons. So this is basically the tech tree Azurlane Littorio, almost, I guess you could say. So it has marksman, which is, I guess, the main one. There's another special trait here. Maybe we might see if we can take a look at it. Also looks like a potentially new trait here for legendary trait. And the base trait is quite an interesting one. It improves accuracy when aiming at battleships, destroyers and cruisers, with enhanced accuracy when shooting cruisers. Ironically, I kind of feel like this should have been the other way around, or something like it should have been 3, 5 and then 7, increase the accuracy for a smaller target. Instead it just increases really peaks the accuracy for a cruiser. Now this is based on the target that you have selected when you're aiming, not what you actually shoot at. So potentially, if there's 2 ships in close proximity to each other, you could lock on to the cruiser for the best accuracy and then shoot at something else. You just have to really fiddle around with your reticle there. So the ships will have to be quite close, because you know the way the reticle does like to auto swap. Define extremely slow torpedoes. I have just closed that tab down. Let's have a quick peek. See if I can bring it back. So over on PC, the Elbing's torpedoes travel at 50 knots. They have a range of 13.5 kilometers. They do 16,533 damage each, and the launcher has a total reload of 90 seconds, so a minute and a half to reload that quintuplet launcher. Now I've got to try and get the correct thing back. Hope that helps, Doug. And there was no, everyone should pay for an anime waifu. I'm not going to disagree. Question: are carriers not affected by this? No. Again, yeah. So yeah, carriers don't really. So there's no improved accuracy when shooting carriers. Which is a bit of a shame, really. You'd think maybe here they'd put battleships and carriers, but this is the other one, like having the separate grouping Why have destroyers down here? Why not have battleships, carriers, and destroyers in one entry, and then cruisers in another? You know, that would make a bit more sense. But then, this is wargaming. Does wargaming always make sense? No. Anyway, so obviously they talk about the base trait. Full fire scale is Iron Resolve. Increased repair party and damage control consumable duration by 15% if those are activated simultaneously. Okay, that's kind of interesting, I guess you could say. It kind of means that you almost want to... if those are activated simultaneously, how simultaneously does the activation have to be? There must be a little bit of a window because it is pushing 2 different buttons. Legendary turret is reduces incoming damage from shells, bombs, and torpedoes, while repair party consumable is active by up to 20%. Add 1 to the count of the repair party consumable. So I guess that kind of makes up for having no master mechanic, I guess you could say. But not by much. So yeah, some interesting traits, and obviously he becomes available for 900,000 Commander XP. Balance changes, obviously, let's see, main gun reload booster now works if any of your main battery are incapacitated. This will alleviate some frustrations with ships which have that. Weimar goes up to tier 7. Now she does get a repair party. I think it comes with 2 repair parties. She's obviously going to get basically tier 7 economics. She does not receive a 4th modernization slot or mod slot. So obviously she's got the same number of mod slots that she has down at tier 6. If you don't like this, you can get your money back by filing a ticket by August the 14th. And this is for any ship that has been credited to your account prior to May the 1st. So it means if you sold the ship and then decide you want to redeem it and take it, your ticket date is limited to obviously the May the 1st. So basically it means that if people have sold it, they can't just request it back, get it back, then put in the ticket and then get the doubloons back. So there is a bit of a cut-off there. And Quiff, it looks like they will be trying to push Will to Rebuild into the background with this new legendary skill. Good point, Quiff. That's a very interesting point, because they could be, they could be finally, after, I think, years of CCs nagging and saying Will to Rebuild is broken and it doesn't really suit the playstyle of the game, this could be them trying out a new skill with the intention of replacing Will to Rebuild in the future. Doug, that is slow when it comes to the Albion torpedoes, and Black's torpedoes are slow as well, but they give her OP detection. Yeah, they give her OP detection and OP damage as well. Whereas the Albion, you've got slow torpedoes, and everything else is a bit as well. Then there's quite a large carrier update. Obviously the Shokuku is going back to her pre-nerf situation, but obviously gaining a bit of a bit of bomb damage as well, I guess you could say. And everyone's increased, I think they're increasing HP on all aircraft by 150. So obviously Lexington aircraft HP increase, Karaga HP increase, Shikoku HP increase, but also the total aircraft in this flight, total aircraft in the strike group, total aircraft in the hangar, and the bomb damage goes up. Zoiho, I think is she gonna get HP as well? I don't know what she's getting. Bomber damage increase. I think she might be getting some HP increase as well. Implacable's getting HP upgrade as well on her aircraft, as long as the hangar size for both stock and upgraded versions of the aircraft increased from 12 to 15. August on Parsifal is obviously getting HP increase, but also is getting a nerf in regards to the maximum torpedo damage. And the Phoebo is getting a buff torpedo speed, which seems a little OP potentially, because those torpedoes do hit like a truck. Right. Bug fixes. There's not really too much here. Let's turn the jazz down a little bit. Honestly, I don't think there's too much there really to talk about. The display of the commander's legendary skills will be changed. So it will be located next to the mini-map, and the lighted icon indicating the legendary skill being activated now appears under the detection range line. Notification log added. All notifications. Okay, yeah, this is a good point. This is actually a critical point worth mentioning. So, long-standing followers of the channel would probably remember that before I became a CC, we used to live in the good old days, or the golden years, I guess you could say, where every patch there would be something that I would call a Brucey bonus. The Brucey bonus was that the premium supplies and the weekly boost would come out on the Sunday, and then the patch would drop on the Monday, and the premium supplies and the weekly boost would both reset, so you could do them again, right? This is going to happen this patch. It's probably going to be the last time it ever happens. I said that last time when they introduced other things, but we'll put that aside. But this will probably be the last time it ever happens. It hasn't happened for a long time. So, this patch, there will be a Brucey bonus. On the Sunday, the premium supplies and the weekly boost will come out. And then with the drop of the patch, because they're adding this new tier, they're going to have to reset the weekly boost and the premium supplies to include tier 8. So it means you have an opportunity this Sunday to complete weekly boost and premium supplies before the patch, and then when the patch drops, complete it again. So I'm saying it now. I don't think I'll do a Brucey bonus video like I used to in the old days, unless there's like lots of people want me to, or the moderators incredibly encourage me. But I probably will do a community post, and I probably will give everyone a poke saying, remember, Brucey bonus weekend this weekend. If you want, complete your weekly boost, complete your premium supplies before the patch drops, because then you get to double it up this week. So if you are short on promotion orders or anything else like that, that's what it's all there. Name was sucks working Sunday. That is bad news, but I suspect from name was you're not exactly in. You don't necessarily need those promotional orders, I guess you could say maybe. Criv, after all these carrier buffs, would be nice if we could somehow know that there will be a CV in the next battle. AA builds at the high tiers has to be considered now. Yeah, but the thing is, I always find if you have an AA build ship, there's no carriers. Randy, I'm getting deplaned constantly. People tell me, deplaned constantly. People tell me I should pre-drop more. Maybe with the buff, I can tell them to shove it. Ooh, possibly not. Mega Man, the August von Passful getting the little nerf seems a bit unnecessary. Yeah, no, that's true. It's a tiny nerf. The thing is, it's such a minuscule nerf. It almost questions, like, what's the point? It's only 233 HP damage. Like, why do they feel the need to do that? I don't know. Maybe it's to try and counter the speed of the aircraft. But I don't know. It kind of feels like the August von Passful is always becoming the one that's getting kicked about a bit. Very much like the way the Shikuku was when it first came out. When the carriers were first introduced, Shikuku got kicked about a bit and kind of got put down a lot. Now the August von Passful's turn seems to be to get put down. And then but I do need that commander crate. Good point. Yeah, no, the commander crate will be quite useful. Tactical map and mini-map improvements. Detectability circle is now displayed around the squadron on the mini-map. Okay, that's quite good. It is no longer possible to send quick commands while controlling the squadron if the housing carrier is destroyed. Oh, that's a shame, because it kind of means that the carrier player gets taken out of the game once they lose the carrier, but then again, that's fair enough. Mobile, obviously there are some mobile updates, but I don't necessarily cover the mobile. The reason being is obviously we just focus on the console version of the game here, even though the mobile version does kind of interact. But I don't really know how much my audience really do play the mobile version of the game. And if they do, most of the stuff is still valid, and it's only a small little lines. So that is everything. We have gone through everything. If you have any queries or anything you want to get off your chest about this patch, then obviously feel free to shout out in the chat. Otherwise, if there's anything that you've spotted in the background of my office, we can obviously take a look at it. And in the meantime, what I can do, I can actually unlock. Let's maximise this. There we go. One thing I've been working on. It's still a bit work in progress. Let's see if we can get this on. Yeah, I'm not really sure if I can get this to focus. Don't think I can get that to focus. Not without putting a massive. No, I don't think it focuses. I think that webcam's too designed for basically being a standard webcam rather than actually an actual macro camera. But yeah, working on a 1/48 Daimler armoured car. Maybe for bolt action, not really sure. So it's in mostly the pre-painting stage. Got most of the blocks done. Just got to finish off the crew, and then I've got to move on to transfers, weathering, washing, and then it's done. So that'll be added to my armoured car force. So that's what we're working on at the moment. Finally managed to get a bit of painting done on it after it being primed for about 2 weeks. And then we're saying that to the ship that could have survived with the with that tiny nerf. That's very true. Oh well. Well, I think we're all up to date. I think no one's got anything to add, which is always good, I guess you could say. So let's go for the chat. Let's say thank you to everyone who has come along. Obviously, if you have found this stream to be useful or enjoyed my presence or your presence, feel free to obviously to give it a thumbs up and all that usual lovely interactive stuff that YouTube does like, I guess you could say. So, going through, let's say thank you to Action Pumper, to Randy Chang, to Kim Mike X Gaming, to Zoo Clue Adventures, to Vaz Vegas, to Admiral Crib, to Doug35, to Mecha Man 13, to a name that was Eternal. Also like to say thank you to, who else do we have popped by? Crom and Melissa Smith. And IGN Azuma and DJ as well. Also, thank you to The Questioner and Kit Fit for Purpose. And I think that's everyone. Ren Chang, did I spot a broadsword? Yes. It's a medieval reenactment longsword. It's a bit not in the best condition. But yeah, do like that. Bought that years ago. I've also, for those of you who haven't seen it before, got a Kakano M38 Kakano deactivated. Let's put that there. Yeah, let's get that there. There we go. King Arthur. Nice seeing everyone. Yeah, take care, take care. Very nice and good progress on the model. Yesterday I was deeply thinking about the £400 Missouri. Well, to be honest, let me just pop that down there. See if I can. Let me see. There was something I was tempted to get. Oh, I gotta get the right. Bear with. Let's see. Oh, you might like this one, Kriv. I just got to find the dang thing. There it is. Yeah, let's Yeah, I saw this the other day. I was quite tempted by it. I thought that I was very tempted by it, but upon research, they were only used in the Pacific by the Americans, unfortunately, because I was quite tempted with the idea of having this in the background of an N-gauge dock scene model railway, set in like Portsmouth or something. Deactivated or deactivated? Oh, deactivated M38 Kakano. Yeah. But yeah, so this I've seen. I was quite tempted by it. The nice one is it actually comes with all the little trucks and the tanks. I think it comes with like 4 Shermans, 4 Greyhounds, and 4 trucks. Yeah. So part of me was so tempted by the idea of getting one of these, just because it's quite a cool little kit. Whereas the wife almost bought it. I spotted it in Hobbycraft and I was like, oh, this looks quite cool. She literally picked it up and almost walked to the till with it. I was like, no, let me research into it. Yeah, so it's only used in the Pacific Ocean, unfortunately. And I think they only started getting built in like 1940, like, I think there was only like 3 in service before D-Day, and they're all over in the States. They literally just got launched. So unfortunately, they weren't even launched in time to even feasibly see any active service in the European theatre. They were all used in the Pacific theatre. Otherwise, I think it would have been quite cool to build one of these, get a couple of like Churchills as well and stuff, and just make a nice little diorama. But yeah, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, I've been. I do like the look of it. Anyway, we're getting distracted. I checked this one out today in Hobbycraft. Mrs. didn't give me the thumbs up, so I had to leave it in store. So you looked at the same kit. That's amusing. Anyway, yeah, I think we're all up to date. It's we've been streaming for an hour and a half. We covered the patch notes. We've had a little bit of a digression. Anyway, look after yourselves. Stay safe. Stay well. And fingers crossed, we'll be live streaming tomorrow. It's very nice, and I was tempted to. Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. Gotta be careful. Well, have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're in the world. And until next time, I'm the Gaffer Major. And back to the ball.